United States Ryder Cup captain Keegan Bradley joins us now. Keegan, what was your message to the team tonight?
The message was, I was at that 28-3 game against the Falcons. I was there. I was also at the game when Malcolm Butler intercepted Russell Wilson against the Seahawks. But my message was, if you were a 16-year-old kid and you were going to get to go play for your country in singles in New York at Bethpage Black, you'd be so excited. Of course, I want to go out there and make history tomorrow. They all do. But I think you got to relish in the opportunity to get out in the course tomorrow and play for your country at a course like this, at a venue like this. I think it's something that you got to look forward to.
Thanks, Keegan. We'll take some questions, starting right here on mic 7.
Keegan, you're a man who famously wears his heart on his sleeve. How are you feeling, honestly, right now?
We feel good. Like, the Europeans have played incredible. It's been really impressive to see. This is, for me, being up close, I think it's, one of the best performances of a road team in any sport. They've played incredible. They've played great. They've putted even better. They've come into a hostile environment and played great golf. And sometimes as a competitor, as an athlete, you have to take a step back and just, again, sort of tip your cap to something like that. They've been a tough team. They've partnered great. Luke is an incredible captain. He's done a great job this week.
You mentioned the hostile environment. What was your perspective on that, the behavior of some of the fans? Do you feel as though it crossed the line?
I didn't see. I thought the fans were passionate. Their home team is getting beat bad. They're passionate fans. I think, I wasn't at Rome, but I heard a lot of stories that Rome was pretty violent as well. But the fans of New York, all I've seen have been pretty good. You're always going to have a few people that cross the line, and that's unfortunate. I really was happy to see our players trying to quiet down some people that were like that. But, part of it is our fault. We're not playing up to the standards that they want to see, and they're angry, and they should be.
Cameron?
I know the rain on Thursday probably changed a little bit of how maybe you guys anticipated the course playing, but how closely is it playing to the way maybe you wanted it to or expected it to?
Oh, man, the greens are not where we want. They're super soft. The greens are great. They roll great, but, you're actually better off out of the rough to a bunch of these flags, a bunch of these pins. Sometimes when I would see our guys in the right rough, I would radio back, that's actually going to be great. You need it out of the rough so it doesn't spin off the green. I've never seen Bethpage greens play this soft ever. Even when we've played here and it's rained, this is something that I've never seen. Chip shots are like spinning backwards.
Is that something that's maybe been a little bit hard for your guys to adjust to even after a couple of days?
I think it's been difficult, but the course is in incredible shape. The people here at Bethpage have done such a great job. What an incredible venue Bethpage Black is. It's really such a grand stage and a place that we all really look forward to playing. I hope we come back here for more Ryder Cups, more majors, more playoff events, whatever it is.
Ryan on 3.
Everything that happened on 15 green with Justin, Tommy, Scotty, Bryson, is that all put in the past?
Yeah, I think so. I've spoken to everybody involved. I think it was a little bit disrespectful, but Justin Rose told me after on the green that they had talked it out. I talked to Bryson. It's sports. Like golf, it's blown into this huge thing. It happens in sports all the time. They seem fine after the round. It's super passionate out there, especially for both sides. But from what I understand. Everything was fine after the round. These sort of things happen when you're playing for your country.
Up to Paul.
Keegan, when you look at the deficit that you faced, do you simply view it as they've played better, or are there strategic things that have played into kind of the deficit that we see?
Well, I think anytime, at a Ryder Cup, the captain is to blame or to be celebrated. So, we all have to do a better job, but most importantly, I have to do a better job as a captain. And, who knows? I feel like the guys have played pretty well. The Europeans have just played like way better. And sometimes that happens, but we still got another day. I mean, who knows? You never know. We can go out there and win. What do we got to win? 10? Sports, wild stuff happens in sports all the time.
Up to Mike 9, please.
Keegan, you said the way your players have played is maybe partly to blame for some of the fans crossing the line.
I did not say that. That's not what I said.
Okay.
I said the fans are probably upset that their home team is losing. I did not say that.
Okay, sorry. But do you think maybe you bear some responsibility in terms of some of the words that you and your players used beforehand in terms of stoking up the fans to bring a hostile,
What words were those?
to bring chaos and just talking up the atmosphere? Colin Morris.
Yeah, I mean, there's Ryder Cups are wild. I don't appreciate those words that you just said. I know what you're trying to do. The Ryder Cup is full of passionate fans. They're full of passionate players, and that wasn't right.
Shane on 10.
Keegan, going back to the putting, hopefully it's not an ignorant question, but we've heard this a lot that you guys would like the greens to be faster. What is it about faster greens that you felt your team would be better on, if that makes sense?
I think historically we play faster greens in the PGA Tour than they do. Obviously when we go over to the British Open, it's, the greens are considerably slower than what we play on an average week. I think like British Open, they're around 10, 10 and a half, maybe 11. For us, when we play at faster greens, and then they generally quicken up as the week goes on if the weather is good. But that's normally what happens. The greens have been perfect this week. Perfect. The golf course is stunning.
Real quick as a follow-up, I think that was the point of my question, is that most of those guys are playing on the PGA Tour quite often too, but is it the case that, when they grow up, they're constantly playing slower greens, and so maybe naturally, even if now they play on the tour, that maybe they're more used to them?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I know I have I struggle a lot when I go over to the British Open and the greens are slow. Like I'll have 5-footers and leave them short. So it's an adjustment period, but good golf, it doesn't matter if the greens are really slow or really fast, the rough is really high, really, really low. You outperform, you're going to win. And they've played incredible golf so far.
Over there to Alex.
Keegan, yesterday when you talked about your plan, all of us were kind of a bit taken aback by the Colin Morikawa Harris English thing. I guess the question is do you think your plan in normal times was succeeded, or do you think it's just one of those things where this week was such that they were just so good and your team was not?
Well, I do know their first match, their opponents were, I think, 6 or 7 under an alternate shot through, 14 holes or whatever, 15, I forget what they. And then today they were 2 under through 6 or 7, and they were like 2 down. So alternate shot, that's great playing. We got a lot of faith in our players. We got a lot of faith. Colin Morikawa's won a couple majors. Harris has had a great year. I think in the past, sometimes we've panicked with the pairings and switched everything up, and it hasn't worked out. So we wanted to stick with the plan, and that's what we did.
Up to Bob on 9.
Keegan, any explanation for Scotty? It's just kind of jarring to see him 0-4. I realize he's got a partner and there's nuance, but it maybe doesn't seem like he's playing the same way that 2 majors and 6 wins this year.
I'm going to tell you a story about what someone said about Scotty Scheffler today on our team, Russell Henley. He said that Scotty had the weight of the world on his shoulders as number 1 player in the world. And Scotty cared more about how Russell was doing than himself. Scotty has been the best teammate in our team room this week. Without question, period. He has been open to any pairing. He has been open to play any session, 5, 4, 2, didn't matter. He has wanted, he was one of the first people that said, we're going to go to Napa and play to be prepared. This means everything to him. And this is tough. This is what happens in sports all the time. You see, somebody, like I said in here last night, in golf, the moment you want something so bad and you try so hard, you don't play as well. And when you're kind of freewheeling it, and I know how it is when you get off to a bad start in the Ryder Cup, you really desperately want to help the team. And I've been out there with Scotty. He's played great. I mean, he flew one in the hole today, popped out and came off the green. Like, we've had some wacky stuff go on. I can't express, I really want to be clear of just what an incredible teammate Scotty Scheffler has been and what an incredible person he is. And for me, watching the team today was one of the proudest moments of my life, because when I looked out at the caddies, at the players, I couldn't tell what the score was. They were fighting so hard on every point. And it would have been easy for guys to get pissed and feel bad for themselves and kind of mope around. Not a single person did that. And Scotty's at the top of that list.
Jay on one.
Keegan, you mentioned a few minutes ago that there are things that you could do better as a captain. What would those be?
Well, I think just, anytime, I wouldn't classify myself as a coach, but, you're the leader of the team. When they don't perform, you have to take responsibility and look at how we did it. I'm not saying we're not going to go out tomorrow and win this. I think we can go out and we're going to give it everything we have. But, ultimately, the accolades and the downfall is going to fall on the captain. That's how it always is. And when you accept the role, you are aware that that's a very real possibility. And the highlights of it are at the highest level of our sport. And the lows are some of the lowest. And, that when you take the job. And, for me, if your team doesn't perform, got to look at the leader first. You got to look at the coach. And, we're going to go out tomorrow. We're going to play with just the way they played today. They're going to go out there. They're going to play as hard as they can. They're going to go out there and try to win every point. They're going to support their teammates. And that's what makes this group so great, is that they're there for each other.
We'll finish up right here with Adam.
After the morning session didn't go as planned, did you make adjustments to the afternoon?
Yeah, we did.
Did you always envision not having Ben in the lineup?
No, we didn't. We were trying to send out. That it was tough. The hardest part about this captaincy is having to sit the guys. It's because everybody's so good. I mean, you look at the pairings, and you got to look at the data, and you got to look at, all right, we got to send out, a powerful group, send a message, and that's what we did. It's easy to sit back now and kind of second guess everything, and but I know Ben Griffin's going to go out tomorrow. I hope he's pissed off. He should be. I would be pissed. I sat a whole day Saturday in Glen Eagles. It was one of the lowest moments of my career, and along with Phil, we sat. And I hope he comes out tomorrow ready to prove me wrong and ready to go out and win his point.
Along those lines, there's a chance you might have to sit someone, take the name from the envelope because Victor's hurt. Have you talked to that player already?
No, we need to go out there and play this tournament the way it was supposed to be played. I have to go figure this out now. I'm still learning what's going on. I don't know how that's going to end up. We'll see in a few minutes.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
To watch another Ryder Cup video, click here. To subscribe, click here.